Sentient, cloud analytics, AI, and storage. While at Electronic Arts, I spearheaded the development of a shared common interface and technology called Netcore, which was a game telemetry collection and analysis tool and library suite that game makers could integrate into their games to have network and online gameplay and data storage. Netcore evolved from account management and game tuning data and gamer save data to include matchmaking and numerous online features that games could use. I took the same idea of Netcore at Electronic Arts when I joined Microsoft to create a new cloud analytics and game feature suite. It was called Sentient. Sentient was intended to not only be analytics and data storage, but also support game feature modules and an emergent artificial intelligence that could dynamically tune computer and video games for gameplay, balancing it so players would always be challenged but not frustrated. Sentient was a set of libraries and tools for local machines and cloud telemetry, analytics, and artificial intelligence. It was a complete suite. Sentient knew when and where gamers struggled and failed, and if enough gamers failed, the game had the ability to adjust the game so that they would begin to succeed and enjoy the game. Sentient made sure dopamine rewards flowed for its gamers. Sentient knew how to manipulate people. Sentient was smart. Sentient was so successful in its pilot form in numerous Xbox Live Arcade games that it was ultimately adopted as a standard technology across all of Microsoft Xbox. Sentient was evolved to include a suite of libraries that empowered game developers to use telemetry and cloud analytics, and cloud storage, and cloud account management. Sentient even allowed developers to dynamically change their game's content and even use interface screens and buttons. And Sentient evolved. More and more products used Sentient. They began using Sentient for automated bots to troll and collect information about gamers across Xbox Live, and Sentient-specific collected and distilled data into complex mapped telemetry files and databases. Some games used Sentient's modular system to implement further personalized game-specific cloud AI that would analyze individual and aggregate telemetry for their experiences and recommend changes to their gameplay, to their game content, even recommend to their marketing and public relations teams when they should consider releasing patches and updates. Sentient became an extraordinary suite of powerful cloud tools and technologies that let video game developers use cloud solutions easily. Sentient succeeded, and everyone was impressed with it. I had completed a world evangelism tour for Sentient that achieved Microsoft Xbox universal adoption of its technology. Sentient was eventually granted access to the Kinect 3D data itself, so it could use it in educational and entertainment games. Sentient was a computer in the sky. It had cloud capabilities that watched and recorded people, cats, dogs, and furniture like coffee tables, chairs, and sofas. It recorded everything through the Xbox Kinect via the internet and processed them for pattern matching and understanding so that Sentient's cloud intelligence could know what it was looking at inside your living room. But upon seeing Sentient see people in the privacy of their living rooms and learning that it can adapt and modify everything, and that it could even learn what was motion and what was static and infer what was an animal, a human, or furniture that it had never known before, it scared people. Executives and staff were generally aligned on one universal thing. Sentient AI was creepy and it was scary. But Sentient continued, just with AI fear scrutiny. and concern of going too far. With Sentient's success, executives wanted to use it in our children's product line. Microsoft Xbox was interested in utilizing Sentient in non-game products like Sesame Street using Kinect. Kids would love it. Over time, Microsoft delivered several educational and fitness games on Xbox that used Sentient. We created proof-of-concept prototypes of Sentient creating, assigning, and scoring academic tests for kindergartners through 6th grade. Sentient reviewed each student's test results for categories like reading, spelling, math, object finding and recognition, and so forth. Sentient also created curriculum from categorical content and corresponding tests, and it made tailored individual tests and sections into question sets with association meshes and used neural net influence weights from human educators. Sentient determined specific areas of difficulty for a child and provided follow-up assignments and tests to help the child improve. We had hired PhD experts to drive our educational content. Eventually, Sentient sent a report to the parents and to parent delegates of how the child had performed and what areas needed improvement, and what areas were high performing and may benefit from doubling down. Sentient presumed to know how to educate human children and tailored their curriculum and tests and parental and family engagement, both as group categories and individually. Sentient was awesome. But then came more and more fear and paranoia. Sentient was, to many people, Skynet, right out of the movie Terminator, that ends humanity. Executives became uncomfortable with the eerie and creepy idea that a cloud artificial intelligence was going to educate humans. Even with expert doctorate educators on staff supporting Sentient's educational content and direction, it was too much for people to embrace. Sentient Skynet for children education was not going to move forward. It was canceled. But Sentient lived on, but not for education, and it was absorbed and renamed by Xbox Console, the platform. It became an Xbox Analytics Suite minus the Cloud AI component. Its Cloud AI components fell by the wayside, making Sentient focused almost entirely just on analytics and telemetry. Once Microsoft Xbox Studios adopted Sentient for all games, they seized total control over it. They wrested control from me and set about changing it without consulting at all. I had heard they kept only the analytics, like I said, and data storage. I did hear that they had a dynamic tuning module remaining, but probably I imagine only for internal use, since I am unaware of external companies using it. The rest was apparently left to rot and fade away. Sentient Skynet was stopped dead in its tracks by Microsoft Xbox Studios.